Good morning, Kirsten. Are you there? It's you, right? Since you're here, you're there, and I'm here. Let's talk about the Epictetus. Very interesting topic, maybe. I watched TEDx talk about psychology, physiology. Sorry, I will show you the maybe that maybe I can find the about philosophy. Actually, it's, I made twice mistake here. Philosophy. Let's see. You can read TEDx talk. You can read the link. I pasted in the chat first, maybe. So here is the TED talk from a therapist. You can watch it later. Generally, it talk about a Stoic Greek philosopher. His name is Epictetus. 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 So his famous quote is, "We are not disturbed by the external event. We are disturbed by the belief or interpretation of that event." Yeah, you can Google it. It's so I repeat. This Stoic Greek philosopher said, "We are not disturbed by the external event, but the interpretation of the event." Very profound, how to say, statement about our between the reaction and what happened or the event. So between our reaction to the event, there's an interpretation. So basically, our beliefs, our imprints. For example, if there's somebody frowning at you, you may interpret why he's frowning at me, and maybe he's looking down or make fun of me. That's inner mental interpretation. Inner mental interpretation will impact our emotions directly. How you perceive, how you interpret, how you understand the external world will determine our reactions and emotions. Make sense to you? I find there's some relation between the Buddha's teaching and like all the philosophers. Philosophy is about a way of life. is not only or merely like internet like philosophical disciplines. Philosophy is a way of life. That as a Buddhism is a way of life. I briefly got disconnected from YouTube. No, here in the content from the Wikipedia link for anyone else that joins. Epictetus taught that philosophy is a way of life and not simply a theoretical discipline. Yes, that's what I just recalled actually. To Epictetus, all external events are beyond our control. We should accept whatever happens calmly and yeah, you can keep reading. Basically, Epictetus divide the world into two like categories. The first part is something we cannot control, like external events, like weather, like economy, like society, and so on. And the second part is something we can control, like our response to that event, our understanding. So you see, Buddha's teaching plays a role here too. So again, if I simplify Buddha's teaching into samatha, coming down of the mind, and the vipassana, the insight or understanding of the external environment and internal environment, vipassana, okay, the insight of vipassana, samatha and vipassana. So Buddha plays meditation as a key role here. Before the insights or before your true understanding of the nature of the society of who am I happen happens to us, or you have that before we have that true understanding, we should calm the mind. And the mind in Buddha's teaching, we have actually, I talked about five skandhas. So five skandhas: form, uh, feelings, perceptions, mental activities, and consciousness. The fifth one, consciousness, is not pure consciousness. Is a conditioned consciousness. Again, form is the external surroundings, all the events, economy, social activities, you know, nature, and so on. Stars, galaxies, weather, that's all the form. And our feelings, our sensations, you like you touch a cup, you feel the texture, you feel the warmness or coldness of a cup. That's our sensations. Then the third one is our perceptions. How you perceive the world actually really determines how we experience. Maybe we touch. Again, I use that simple example, or is that in the room there's a red apple on. In the room there's a table on the room on top of that table there's a red apple. There's a couple of person or people sitting in the room, an artist and scientist and nutritionist and the Buddha. These four people looking at the red apple, the same red apple, but their perception is different, right? An artist more looking at texture, shade, color, and so on. A scientist maybe more like molecules, atoms, the fields, the electromagnetic field, and the nutritionist may vitamin A, sweet, sugar level, and or protein level. A Buddha may be like more emptiness level. Perception plays a really different, important role in determining how we, experience or understand the world. So in the five skandhas, the third skandha is perception. Then there's a mental activity like thoughts, like the consistent analyzing understanding of what you see and feel, right? Then there's a consciousness. Like consciousness draw a conclusion what this is. What this is bad, this is good, this is neutral, this is beautiful, this is nasty, and so on. You see, I see kind of a relation between the philosophy, the philosophers, and Buddha's teaching. Yet I also see the incompleteness of the philosophers. For example, in this case, Epictetus, he's right. Men are not influenced by the external event, but disturbed by the internal interpretations, imprints, I will say. So where this imprints comes from is from our previous education, our previous understanding or life experience, our background, our religion, so many things can play a role in how we perceiving or how understanding the world. And Buddha's teaching is this. Listen carefully. Forget about all those. Calm down the mind. Samatha. Leaving all the traces or imprints aside. Recognize the pure mind. I am aware. The simplest, purest, understanding mind is that I am aware. No awareness, no experiences, no understanding, no worlds. Makes sense to you, right? Samatha is to still the mind to a level that all the imprints or our habitual thinking cannot influence anymore. You can see all the imprints, all the habitual thinking, no matter it's bad condition, no matter it's bad conditioning or good conditioning. You can empty yourself to a level that you are fine with everything that is happening, has been happened, and will happen. Then from this stillness of the mind, from this samatha, you can see that the interpretations. Because if we cannot see the interpretations of the external event, how can you understand the interpretations and the related event? We have to be still enough or alert enough, calm enough to observe the internal world. Again, internal world or mental activities in Buddha's 5 skandhas teaching is feelings or sensations. That's the second one. The first one is the forms, all the phenomena world. All the phenomena world. The first, second is our feelings and sensations, like a interface between the external and the internal. Like I have to use my hands to touch a cup, right? To have this sensation. Like body is interface between the external and internal, like 5 receptors of the information and energy from outer world. Then my understanding will be built on the perception, how you perceive will change your experience, will change your understanding, will change your realization. Yes, samadhi to calm the mind, and from stillness of mind can see the interpretation of the external event calm enough to observe the internal world. Yes, that's why meditation is so important. People have lots of this philosophical understanding or intellectual understanding, but they don't realize really become have that understanding into their real life. It's not known, it's not experienced knowledge, I will say it. If any knowledge is not experienced by ourselves, then it's a very superficial knowledge. You can read books of how to make a meal or cook a dish, but you never practice that. Therapy. How to say that? It's not therapy. It's I say the integrants, and you do not cook for that dish. Then it's not experienced knowledge at all. Meditation is try to experience the knowledge that, in this case, Epictetus said, men are not disturbed by an external event, but the interpretation of the event. You have to be calm enough. We have to be calm enough. See the habitual thinking, the subconsciousness, imprints, place is like working on filtering in and filtering out, like picking up, like if I use that analogy of sitting in the center of Costco or Walmart, the supermarket. Before you make a choice, actually, you have an interpretation, what is good for you, what is not good for you, from your background, from your previous life experience, from your belief, and so on. And we have to see clearly before any action or choice, there's a interpretation. And what is behind that interpretation is a pure observation. So beautiful. That's why we should recognize the pure observation, the awareness itself first, because it's the foundation, it's the source of perception, feelings, mental activities. It's pure, it's unconditioned, it's unlimited, undefiled openness. Infinite possibility. Now, it's like every word I'm using is downloading and uploading. But yeah, I see that flow of energy or information. It's crazy. Yes, to embody the knowledge. Yes. And as human being, we have that capability to embody any knowledge, actually. There's no limit. And all the, we have so many knowledges, you know. If you go to the university, how many subjects we have? So many knowledges, right? But among all, the first principle is how to be happy and calm, how to be constructive. If any knowledge cannot make us happy and calm, that knowledge is ultimately useless. Knowledge is kind of you know, the teachings from the pioneer, from the teachers, or the from different lineage of school, from the our ancestors. Like if you go to a library, so many books there, so many knowledge in the book, but you have to pick up one, read it, and apply that one principle of knowledge into your everyday life. Like happiness, how to become, how to be happy, how to be calm, how to be, wise, how to be healthy, right? And how to be enlightened. Among all these, like happiness, happiness, health, um, how to say, calm. If I simplify all these four or three into one word, then it's enlightenment. Enlightenment again means if you experience that you're one with everything else. You see that that tip of the all the knowledge and wisdom, oneness, non-duality. It goes back to the source of the true attributes of the pure awareness. The awareness has no boundary. The awareness is one with everything. Every content in the awareness is awareness itself. Every knowledge is one part of content. You follow? If that knowledge does not make you ultimately or fundamentally you are one with everything, that knowledge is not is an ultimate knowledge at all. Philosophy plays an important role here. Like Epictetus said, you have to we have to watch that interpretation based on our previous experience, education, belief, and so on. But who is watching that previous like imprints or thoughts or feelings, emotions? Now you're back to the pure awareness. Now you have a total picture of what's going on outside and inside. You're back to the source. The source is not how to say, cannot be outsourced anymore. You get it? It's the end of the seeking. It's the end of seeking for happiness, health, and fortune. But it's the start of all the discoveries. So funny. So interesting. Everyone in the planet Earth is seeking for wealth, health, happiness, and accomplishment. If I say you are already what you're looking for and much more than that, what is that? What are you talking about? I'm talking about enlightenment, a simple word that contains happiness, health, wealth, and self-accomplishment. So it's crazy. You see, if you go to still the Wikipedia link, Epictetus, life part. So there's a subcategory life. It's very interesting. Just one sec. Sorry, I lost his name. The word Epictetus in Greek simply means gained or acquired. Gained, acquired is a realization of the truth, enlightened, experienced knowledge or truth. Very interesting, right? Epictetus is enlightenment or experienced knowledge. I will say knowledge is, I will say experienced truth. Knowledge more in the brain. Truth is your experienced truth is higher than the knowledge. Is the abstraction of the knowledge. Is the ultimate knowledge of the knowledges. Higher than the knowledge. If you look at the thought part, so of the life that thought, Epictetus maintains that the foundation of all philosophy is self-knowledge. Wow, he's a wise man. So if you click self-knowledge is a term used in psychology to describe the information that an individual draws upon when finding an answer to the question, what am I like? While seeking to develop the answer to the question, self-knowledge requires ongoing self-awareness. You see, self-consciousness, you have to become enough to ask that question and to understand the contents of the answer. Young infants and chimpanzees display some of the traits of self-awareness and agency. Yet they cannot considered as also having self-consciousness. At some great level of cognition, however, a self-conscious component emerges in addition to an increased self-awareness component, and then it becomes possible to ask, what am I like? So you have to be aware that you can ask this question. It's a second loop or second half of the circle. If you and your pet dog standing in front of a tree, both you and your dog can see a tree, but as a human being, you may know I am standing here watching a tree. You have sense of that I I know that I'm watching a tree. I know that I know. So that's called self-awareness in a spiritual context. Sometimes there's a little bit difference between psychology here, self-awareness, like you can be aware of your emotions, feelings, sensations, your perceptions, but that's not enough. In awakened being, a wise being, or if you're a frequent meditator, your definition of the self-awareness is a little bit different from the psychologist. You are not only can be aware of your feelings, emotions, sensations, your perceptions, but you also can be aware of the awareness. Do you follow? Great. So inside, just repeat because this is really important. In psychology, self-awareness means you are aware of your emotions, feelings, your body sensations, your memory, your planning. You can be aware of any mental activities. But as a meditator, we not only aware of the contents of the awareness, but also aware of the awareness itself. Know the self. Know the self, including the contents of the self, but more importantly, the awareness itself. I hope you can really distinguish the contents of awareness and awareness itself, okay? That's a milestone in awakening. Okay, let's go on. So we're still on the Wikipedia of the Epictetus, but now we are sorry we which page we are in now? So self-knowledge, psychology. Um, At some greater level of cognition, however, a self-conscious component emerges in addition to an increased self-awareness component, and it becomes possible to ask, "What am I like?" So, in this text, a young infant cannot raise this question, "What am I like?" An adult can, and a chimpanzee cannot either. So to answer with self-knowledge, through self-knowledge has limits, as introspection has been said to be limited and complex. So you see, in psychology, self-knowledge is a component of the self, or more accurately, the self-concept. You have identification of I. Who am I? My relationship, my family, my emotions, my background, my memory, my experience, and so on. That's in Buddha's teaching. This is a false identification. It's wrong because the true us is the pure awareness behind all the contents of awareness. That's the value of Buddha's teaching. A quantum leap that make you different from a worldly person and a sage. You got it? Self-knowledge informs us our mental representations of ourselves, which contain attributes that we uniquely pair with ourselves, and theories on whether these attributes are stable or dynamic, to the best that we can evaluate ourselves. Okay, I didn't go on, but we're back to the Epictetus. This maybe, yeah, that's beautifully quoted by Epictetus here. So just make sure we're on the same page. I paste it here again in the chat. So we can read. We are in the. I'm in the part of thought. First his life, then his thought. In the middle of the thought, both of the discourses and ancient I mean, maybe as the book written by the Epictetus, begin by distinguishing between those things in our power and those things not in our power. So if I put more another way is something is we we cannot control. Something is within our control. That alone is our power, which is our own work. Here, Epictetus is trying to understand the internal interpretations. This range is our power. It should be controlled by us or understood by us. That alone is our power, which is our own work. And in this class, our opinions, impulses, desires, and aversions, on the contrary, what is not in our power. So our bodies, possessions, glory, and power, or external surroundings like weather, economy, society, and so on. And delusion on this point leads to the greatest errors, misfortunes, and troubles, and to the slavery of the soul. So delusion means you do not understand what is in your control and what you cannot control. That delusion will make us or lead us to the errors, misfortune, troubles, sufferings, and so on, right? You see the first you have to be calm enough to see the picture. If we cannot see the picture of happiness or see the picture of suffering, how do you understand happiness or suffering? Samatha again plays a key role. First, we have to see the picture, and then we can analyze every pixel. So picture of what? Picture of life, picture of the situation, picture of the space and time. And it's not a dead picture; it's a dynamic picture. It changes from moment to moment, from situation to situation, from time to time, from space to space. And we have, I would say, maintain or remain that alertness or observation all the time. You see, meditation really starting from a sitting meditation, and from that momentum of the stillness built up from the sitting meditation, you have momentum to observe when we are doing things, when we are moving our body, when we are, engaging in conversations. That stability and the purity or clarity of the mind is always there. Actually, it was there. Was here, is here, and will always be here. But have you realized it or no? You see, realize the knowledge or realize the truth. A crystal-like mind, a diamond-like, a diamond mind. That's what I said in before. This kind of word I repeated or I realized again, then it becomes my reality. Do you follow? Repetition plays a key role. You cannot, just practice once a day or once a week or once a month. You have placed twice a day, 3 times a day, hundreds times a week. Then from that momentum, you will have that stability. You're not disturbed by the external environment. You can see your interpretation of the mind, and you can from that seeing you notice who is seeing or what is seeing. It's always there. Trust me, my friend. A diamond mind is our essence, the Buddha nature. But to make that seed of Buddha nature grow, or you know, to grow and grow like a seed in the earth, how to say that? To grow, you need water, nutrition, sunlight, and the care of the gardener. You need reading. You have to. We have to read a spiritual book continuously, or listen to the YouTube channel, to meditate, to and apply that understanding into everyday life. That's all. Practice and knowledge and practice. They the master of 2 feet, right? Buddha is a master of 2 feet. 2 feet of knowledge and practice, knowledge and practice, knowledge and practice. Until that momentum is always there, you don't need to think about it anymore. It's just there. Do you think how to walk? We don't think to walk how to walk anymore, right? Because we take like 8 months to how to walk. From a baby, from an infant, it took us like 7 or 8 months, even 1 year to know how to walk. Now you don't need to think how to walk anymore. You just step on the ground and walk. And the same thing is here. The diamond mind, least kind of practice, like years, a month, or even lives, then eventually you don't need to. It's just there. Because all your knowledge and practice are so smooth. There's no, any frictions anymore. There's no, sound, no frictions anymore. Of course, to the completeness of the enlightenment or the full enlightenment, you may need. We will take a lot of years, lives to accomplish. But now there's a door of enlightenment. You have to enter that door first. Then everything else will be safe and natural. Most of world people, they even don't know where is the door for enlightenment. Where is the door? They look it outwards. No, the door is here. The door is inside. Is in the stillness. Is in the inner calm, inner silence. Can you and inner silence, inner calm is the fragrance of your pure awareness. You follow? The pure awareness has two fragrances. Smells so good, right? Inner stillness and inner silence. Now. It's always in the now. The power of now. If you really understand Eckhart Tolle's teaching, now is the door to awakening. This now is uppercase N, uppercase O, uppercase W. It's not lowercase n, lowercase OW. Because most people, they understand now is what's happening outside. No, it's okay if you can see what's happening outside calmly and undisturbedly, then you're good. But it's not good enough. You have to see here too what happened inside. That I will call it. If you can say you can see what happens outside and at the same time what happened inside, then it's another now. I have three nows here. Okay, lowercase n o w and uppercase n and the lowercase o w. That's the second stage. You can see what's going on outside and inside. That's a uppercase n, lowercase n o w. Sorry, n o w. Then there's a bigger now, a greater now. The greatest now is you can allow everything happens, no matter it's externally or internally. You see a total picture of everything. That's a uppercase N O W, both uppercases. That's called you realize the oneness. Everything is non-dual. And this is door of awakening. If you can allow whatever happens externally and internally. You see the flow of cosmic force or karmic force flow outside and inside without any judgments, labeling, and resistance. Then you can be free from that karmic force instantly. You don't that eons of imprints, comics imprints will collapse instantly. Most people say I have to meditate to for years, for months, or lives to clean that karmic force on me or with me or in me. No. Once you see that all the karmic force or karma are empty, then you totally, instantly clean it. You become pure. And you are originally pure. But this recognition need to be accessed or realized by you. You follow? It took me 10 years to realize this. And instantly, I see the emptiness of my karmic force. Once you see the emptiness, nothing, no trace of the karmic force in you anymore. You are totally free. Freer than the wind in the sky. How free the wind in the sky is. How free the wind in the sky is. There's no obstruction. It's just joyfully, blow, right? Flow. We are that. But we are more complicated than the wind in the sky. We have these actions and understandings, reactions, perceptions, sensations, feelings, emotions, memories. It's as a human being, we are so lucky. We are so lucky to understand the ultimate truth. Why I'm here? Who am I? What's the purpose of this life? So is that sudden enlightenment? Are you describing? Yes. Once you have that total picture, so I just give you an example here. We are in the cities, we are in the rooms, we're in in this limited room. But if you are astronomer, say you have been out of space once or twice, you can zoom out from this little room, little body, little mind, little city, and to outer space and see the total picture. Wow, Earth is just a dust in the cosmos. And suddenly you have that, all your limitedness is a kind of collapse, right? You have more freedom, or you don't attach to that little dust in the cosmos anymore, because now you have a whole picture of the cosmos. Same thing is, once you can disidentify with a limited me, limited emotions, understandings, oh, this is right, this is must be wrong. Yes, it's true, but only relative true. It's not absolute truth at all. Once you have that total picture, you're not only living on a planet Earth, you're living in the whole cosmos, an astronomer will do. Then you have less attachment to planet Earth. I'm not saying you don't care planet Earth anymore. Okay, there's a little difference. You don't attach to that limited relationship or sticky relationship anymore. You don't stick to your memory, or at least the traumatic memory has less influence on you, because that you have a total picture of your life now. Southern enlightenment, yes, you can call it satori. Wow. But satori is not enough. You need consistent repetition of the satori. Imagine you had only one glimpse of enlightenment or whatever. Oh, I'm so free. The second second you fall back into your limited identity. I'm this person. I'm this with this family. Then you suffer again, right? Like the door opens just once and it closes again, and for a very long time it's just closed. It's not open again. So we have to be open that window or our heart again by meditation, by reading, the textbook or the spiritual book, again and again and again and again. That's why I'm sharing my experience here. Actually, it's a very good way to open my heart, my mind. I repeat that kind of freedom again and again and again, and eventually the freedom becomes the everyday experience or realization. Heaven is right here on earth. Can you realize it? Heaven is not far at all. Heaven is here in our heart, in our pure mind. We are so blessed. We have all the gadgets, we have all the equipment and the facilities to awaken. I'm, I feel, I feel so, I feel that I'm so blessed. I'm a human. I'm a very normal human being. I feel I'm so blessed that I can have a glimpse of the ultimate truth. So do you, so does everyone. Okay. We talked a lot again. We talked a lot today. Again, I try to help you to realize the ultimate truth. Ask the question: am I aware that I'm aware? To answer this question, I'm aware that I'm aware, you have to be still enough. You will forget nonsense of your, past, who you are. You have to be in the moment. I'm aware that I'm aware. Yes. You have to still or slow down the monkey mind to a certain level to answer this question. Yes, I am aware that I am aware. The attention is not outside and is outgoing anymore. The attention to answer this question, the attention have to go inward. The awareness has to check the awareness itself. Yes, I am aware that I am aware. This great question and answer helps you to realize the essence of all the Buddha's teaching. The more you can, remain in this recognition, I am aware that I'm aware, or let's just simply put self-awareness, uppercase self, okay? Know the self. The Apollo Temple, at the gate of Apollo Temple, it's written, know the self. It's not a quote on the Apollo Temple anymore. It's you. You realize that I know myself. I know myself, and I am the pure awareness behind all the phenomena world. Without awareness, without experience, without world. You simplify the complexity of the world into one thing. I am aware. That's all. Then you remain and maintain this recognition as long as you can. You don't need any teaching, okay? You don't need any technique because it's your essential nature. The awareness can be aware of itself. Yesterday I talked about Savana Vedana, right? Sorry, it's a Sanskrit. I have to check it again. Svasamvedana. Okay, it's a Sanskrit. Svasamvedana, the awareness can know itself, like Ouroboros, a dragon or snake can, biting his own tail. This is the critical in the past awakening. If you cannot be aware of your awareness, or you have no experience of that at all, no matter how many spiritual books you have read, or no matter how many practice you have meditated, it does make no sense because the awareness has to be aware of itself. That's the critical point. It's the milestone. That's a baseline of the certification that I am enlightened. It's a past line. The awareness can be aware of self. This is bottom line. Then on top of this bottom line, there's no top line. I have said this again. This is the bottom line. The awareness can be aware of itself and remain in this realization for as long as it could, for as often as you could, as fast as you could. Actually, it never leaves me. It never leaves you. It never leaves anybody. You are awareness that can experience the whole world. How can you leave separate yourself from the awareness? You are the awareness. That's why you don't need any teaching, any sages, any masters to teach you. You don't need any spiritual book because you are awareness already. Can you smell the fragrances of the awareness? Inner stillness and inner silence. Feel it, connected to it. Check in. We are born to have this nature and we never appreciate it. We took this awareness for granted many years. We never appreciate that I am aware. The very awareness is the touching of God's hand on us. The magic hand of God is touching us now in terms of awareness. Have you ever appreciate your godness? Now maybe it's time. The whole cosmic force, in terms of nature, the wind, the ocean, the sky, the nutrition from the earth, the apples, the meats, the rices, the noodles, the breads, all contributing to this moment that you can be aware. Have you ever appreciate your awareness? Your awareness is connected to the whole cosmos. Once you can appreciate your awareness, you appreciate everything that support your awareness. And it's all things are included. Your awareness is all inclusive, never exclusive. Do you follow? You will appreciate everything you encounter, every people you encounter, everything you can see, touch, smell, taste, hear, and think, because all these support your awareness. Crazy. No fractions, no reflections, no mirror. Make sense to you? The four-dimensional pure awareness is like a mirror. Imagine there's no reflections to reflect. Then this mirror loses its function. Because there is external surroundings, there is this perception, because there is this interpretation, you are alive, you are online. It's a so colorful, richful, lively world. From there or from here, you appreciate everything. from the six windows of six senses, what we can see. Now say thanks to your wall, the tree, the people, the dog. Also, what we can hear, say thanks to the click of the clock, the dialogues of the people, the conversation of the people, the barking of a dog, the chirping of a bird. Say thanks to them. No reflection, no awareness. Also, say thanks, appreciate what we can touch, the cell phone, the computer, the desk, the room, the window, anything you can touch. Our body, our hands too, right? Anything you can taste, the food, the bread, the rice, the noodle, the meat, the veggies, anything you can taste. The smell, the fresh air, fragrance, or any flower fragrance. Spring is coming. And what we can think. Oh, that's a lot of contents here. Okay, that's all for today, I think. So try to appreciate everything, every content from the six senses, most importantly from your mind, the interpretations, the perceptions, the understandings, appreciate them all and all. Appreciation generates happiness. Appreciation generates health. When you're appreciating something, when you're in love with something, and when you can fall in love with everything, you must be happy and healthy, because the energy will be different. The body, the flow, the energy flow in your body will become so fluent, so energized. Like now. And even there's a bodily pain or discomfort, you can overlook it or ignore it or not disturbed by it very easily. That's the true meaning of happiness, health, and wealth. You are so enriched. Everything in your awareness is part of you. You can talk, you can play, you can sense. The whole world, the whole cosmos is all you, yet only you. Play and enjoy. That's my a quote of realization. We are here to play and enjoy, to understand, to appreciate. We're not here to suffer, to afflict. Definitely not. Wrong direction. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you. Inner calm, inner peace. Bye. See you tomorrow morning at still 8 a.m. Sunday. Thank you.